Can you just not get ahead? Are you feeling trapped by debt? Well, you're not alone. A lot of people feel this way, and I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. Now, it's going to take some work. You have to have a plan and you have to stick to it. But by doing this, you can really change the course of your life. Today, we're going to talk about the debt snowball, and this is going to be the first video of many on just the basics of financial well-being and wealth building. So the debt snowball is a great way to get on the right track. Some of you probably heard this if you're a fan of Dave Ramsey. The debt snowball is very common, but a lot of people don't do it. And just by having that plan and sticking to it, you really can get out of debt. It's just a matter of time and determination, really. So the debt snowball has 4 steps that we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about my story and go into good versus bad debt and why we might use this. So during law school, I was working a part-time job, going to law school full-time. Law school was hard. I wanted to enjoy myself, but I didn't have too much money. So I used credit cards and I got into a little bit of a hole, around $5,000 worth of credit card debt. And, I was just making the monthly payments at the minimums each month. And, I was seeing interest growing and growing, and my account balance kept on growing. So I decided to use the debt snowball to pay that credit card off. And since then, I haven't looked back. So really, the system works. I love it. Credit Dave Ramsey for really kind of spreading the word and teaching a lot of people about it. This is something that he does get right. And, I think that a lot of people have benefited from it. So, next up, let's talk about good versus bad debt. So, unlike Dave Ramsey, I think that there is some good debt, but there's also bad debt that you should stay away from. So, what is good debt? Good debt is anything that you can use the debt for, and it can put money back in your pocket. So, Rich Dad Poor Dad calls this an asset. So, things that I think about are an investment property, maybe a rental. Um, Student loan can be good debt. However, it also can be bad debt, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, Investing in a business, right? If it's putting money back into your pocket, it's probably a good thing. Also, I think your personal residence, although it doesn't put money back in your pocket per se, it does help you accumulate wealth. So I think your personal residence can also be good debt. So good debt, the debt snowball isn't really for this, right? What the debt snowball for is the bad debt. And what bad debt is debt that takes money out of your pocket. So really this is any consumer debt. So credit cards, student loans can be bad debt. Car loans are a big one. I see a lot of people struggling because they've got $1,500 to $2,000 worth of car payments each year or each month, and that's about half of what they're making. Uh, let's go back to student loan debt. So student loan debt really can be good or bad depending on how much money you're coming out and you expect to make. I think a good rule of thumb, and I got this from Mark Kohler, is if your debt is going to be greater than what your first year salary is in whatever field that you're going to do, it's probably going to be considered bad debt. And you might want to rethink the profession or school that you're going to. Now, if the debt is less than your first year salary or expected salary, then student loan can be good debt because you're increasing your ability to earn more income. So just think about that. You know, student debt is a sensitive subject, but again, I think it can be good for you or it can be bad, just depending on how much you take. So consider that, but definitely stay away from credit cards. Avoid picking a car that you really can't afford, and having those large monthly payments each month. Lastly, before we get into the 4 steps of the debt snowball, I just want to say I think it's really important to have a small savings before you go off and tackle this debt. Things come up, things happen. If you don't have a reserve of cash to pay for unexpected expenses, you end up falling back on your credit cards and digging yourself in a further hole. So I'm kind of in agreement, like Dave Ramsey. I think having $1,000 is a great first step. Most things that come up in life, $1,000 will be able to cover at least those most urgent pressing matters, to where you don't have to go back into your credit card. From there, it's kind of take a look at your monthly expenses and slowly build up. I think a good rule of thumb is 2 to 3 months of personal savings somewhere. But again, have that $1,000 and then start tackling that debt, and we'll worry about the savings as we go. So let's talk about the debt snowball. Like I said, there's 4 steps. First step is to list out all of your debts, get a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet that I got from Mark Kohler. If you're interested, email admin@bristertaxall.com and just say debt snowball spreadsheet, and I'll send you that spreadsheet that I got from Mark Kohler. Mark also gives it out. So if you want to check out his website, he'll also send you that too for free. So you want to list out all the debts that you have, list out the interest rate, and then the amount that you have. So what we're going to do then is you're going to take out the debt that you have the least amount on. So if you've got $1,000 credit card bill, a $2,000 credit card bill, $5,000 car payment, and $6,000 student loan, you'll go credit card, car loan, student loan. So the first up will be that $1,000 credit card bill. What we're going to do is list that number one, then the $2,000, then the five, and then the six. From there, we're going to tackle them in order from least amount owed to all the way up to the biggest one. So the second step that we're going to do after we list all those debts and actually see it and visualize it is we're going to make the minimum payments on each one of those debts. So we don't want to miss anything. We're going to pay the very least that we can on each card. And then we're going to make an extra payment on that one that we owe the least amount to. So step 3, after making those minimum payments, is to make an additional payment on the debt that you owe the least amount to, and try to make that a set amount that you can commit to each month. And then, anything extra definitely helps, but have that set amount. Either find something to cut expenses with, go get a side job, do what you need to really make it a priority, but find an amount that you can pay extra each month. And then we're going to add that onto that minimum payment each month to that lowest debt. And we're going to keep paying it until we pay off that lowest amount. Once we pay off that lowest amount, what we're going to do is take that same amount that we were paying each month. So if your minimum payment was $100 and you're paying $500, once you pay that off, we're going to take that $600 and then we're going to apply it to the second highest or lowest debt that we have. and then we're going to repeat it. So we're going to take that 600, pay towards that second lowest debt and the minimum payment, and keep paying that off until you pay off the second lowest debt. And then you just rinse and repeat until you have all those debts paid off. So that's a debt snowball, 4 steps. Again, first off, you want to list them out. Second off, you want to make the minimum payments on each. Third, you're going to add an extra payment onto the lowest debt. And then lastly, you keep paying those debts off. And once you pay off one debt, apply whatever amount you're paying towards the next debt until you pay everything off. That's a debt snowball. Again, this method right here can really help you and change your life if you're systematic about it. But it also doesn't stop there. So once you pay off all your bad debt, now it's time to start saving. So if you were paying $2,000 total, with your extra payment and everything else, let's put that towards your savings. You get that 2 to 3 months savings, and then start investing with it. And just like you were paying those debts off with the debt snowball, you can start snowballing your wealth. So it really is important. Those things can start adding up. If you like this video today, please like, subscribe, comment. If you didn't like it, let us know what you didn't like. Also, please share this with anybody who you think might help. Debt is something that a lot of Americans struggle with today. I know it can feel isolating. Everyone wants to keep up with Instagram, social media, things like that. You just see the good side of a lot of people, and you don't really see that bad side that people are using debt to go fund all these vacations and have all of this fun. You can have fun, but you need to get your debt in control first, because compound interest really works against you. Like I said, if you want a free debt snowball from Mark Kohler Excel spreadsheet, just email debt snowball to admin@bristertaxlaw.com. This was a wealth planning podcast with Brister Law. Thank you for listening, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.